Hey, it's better late than never when it comes to these things, huh? There are other things that I do outside of these videos. If you watch my last DVD video, I mentioned why I probably wouldn't be continuing to do these videos as often, right? And to be honest, when this season was about to premiere, I didn't have that much, enthusiasm in me, to view it, because as I said in the Thoughts on the Cast video, we had an All-Star season recent Lee. So the excitement of that, has diluted itself. I'm viewing this as just another season of Survivor, to be honest with you. Yeah, which is not a bad thing, but there you go. So, and also I didn't really get too much from the interactions this episode. I just didn't feel too much when these people left. Even though you would think that I would. Yeah. But I will tell you this, I'm not that worried about the curse of the All-Star seasons returning, and having a bunch of people downgrade themselves, because I think that this is going to end up being like Cambodia, where the people, they'll go for reasons that are like what they did this time, even though we're definitely going to get more people in Tony's vibe, where they behave kind of similarly, but it didn't work for them this time. I'll touch upon that later, I think. Hopefully, right. So, first of all, we've got that marooning process, and it did make sense why the Orange Tribe didn't go after Ozzy in the water, although Caleb decided to do that as a stupid move, right? But it seemed like, according to Dalton Ross, the Orange Tribe didn't get enough food to match the Blue Tribe either, which I thought was kind of odd, but I don't really think that necessarily means right off the bat that once again we've got the Blue Tribe being dominant, because traditionally I end up supporting the Blue Tribes mainly because I feel like the better strategists are on that tribe, and then I also get a vibe. I didn't get that vibe this time. I'm just putting my bets on them because that's just what I normally do when I've got a Blue Tribe versus a non-Blue Tribe. Okay, especially since we've also got a mix-up so soon in this game, right. Okay. And then also we've got the reintroduction of the legacy advantage, which, I do kind of like, but Steven in the Know-It-Alls bit made an important bit. It doesn't look like you can transfer this unless you vote it out, so it's really just a hidden immunity idol for yourself. That kind of lessens the effect, although obviously if you could transfer it, then it would just be, an ordinary idol anyway, but I don't know, just now that I know that, even though I should have known this, just like how I said a lot of people should have envisioned a situation like the Final Six Tribal Council in Cambodia happening, but, I don't know. But it is nice that they changed it so you can also do it when the merge starts in addition to the Final Six. Now, I know that they didn't say outright that 13 is going to be the start of the merge, but you look at what's the similarities between this season along with Cambodia and Millennials vs. Gen X. The merge is happening at 13. This is the norm now. Right. Okay, and what are my thoughts about Sierra getting it? Maybe it'll give her an opportunity to do something different. I don't know. We'll have to see, but fortunately Jeff didn't make a remark about the Dark Horse bit, although he ironically made that about Sierra from Blood vs. Water, and before this episode started, if you had put like a gun to my head and said, okay, do an episode 1 pick from the guys and then episode 1 pick on the girls, I would have said JT for the guys and then Sierra from Blood vs. Water for the women, but Sierra from Blood vs. Water is gone, which is a little bit of a bummer because I don't get to see her, improve or illustrate that there's continuing issues with her, but at the minimum it does make it so I don't have to distinguish between the two Sierras any more, which is nice, although I still kind of wish a little bit that Jeff Varner would get booted out, so now I don't have to distinguish it between Jeff Probst and Jeff Varner, even though I might just keep saying Varner, although I don't know if I'm going to be saying Brad Culpepper, because I think Because there's only been a couple of Brads on this show, because I think that there was the one in Cook Islands, and that's the only other Brad I can think of. Brad, not Brett. Keep that in mind. Alright. Other thoughts of the interactions on the tribe, well, to bring back JT real quick, I'm surprised that people, weren't totally talking about him that much, because sure, he made the idiotic move in HVV, although because they hadn't seen Russell play, you can't really judge him that fairly, Tyson actually did a much dumber move than he did, because swap Russell with Pav. I feel Tyson still would have flipped. Swap Rob with Russell. Tyson still would have flipped. In my mind. There, not seeing Russell play didn't matter nearly as much. Right. Oh, and thoughts on everyone not really seeing Zeke and Michaela play. The vibe that I got from observing Michaela and Zeke's reactions, that indicates to me that it actually won't matter that much. I personally predict that Michaela is going to go out in about the same spot that she did last time, and that Zeke won't win, although that's not saying that much because 19 out of 20 don't win. Ha ha, right. But, And as I said, the Blue Tribe didn't really give the vibe that they've got the best strategist, but they seem to have a fairly nice group, although the Orange Tribe did seem to have the better alpha males, because the Blue Tribe has a Caleb, who I said that I don't like, Ty, who needs to really do some thinking, and then they have Brad, who we need to see what he's going to do, but turns out he was right. He does seem to be a lot more relaxed, definitely going to play a lot more reasonable games, so I am anxious to see what this guy is going to do. I'm thinking that he actually will do what Abby wasn't exactly able to do, will take him from someone who I absolutely despise, but then gradually work his way to someone that I'm okay with, except he actually was able to start on this pretty early, unlike Abby. But yeah, so I'm anxious to see what happens to him. But like the Orange Tribe, they had Tony, Troyzan, and Malcolm, big people. Blue Tribe was JT, obviously, but he didn't get shown that much, yeah. So how do I feel about these guys? Malcolm, he seems to keep flip-flopping on whether or not he wants to change the gameplay somewhat or just react the same way. So I'm anxious to see how he behaves. Because I really don't want to dislike that guy the way I disliked him in Caramoan, although in Caramoan I lasted a lot longer before I got on the anti-Malcolm bandwagon. But you know that story already, right? Troyzan, he didn't get shown that much to give a good opinion about him, and then Tony, well, as I stated, he had a huge target on his play right off the bat, because I said, like with Suri, he's not gonna make it to the end. Come on, you really need someone like him back? Yeah, like, why did he agree to come back? I really do not know why. Sheesh. So that first immunity challenge, Orange Tribe lost, which I had been thinking would happen based on the edit, and that was going on, but also my preference for the Blue Tribe. And then, through some interactions that I'm sure do have some layers to it that I don't remember that much, Sierra ultimately gets thrown around as the person to go because she's talking the most about getting rid of people, and they end up booting her. Without us really being able to figure anything out about her, like with Shirin in Cambodia, yeah, so much to see if she really, redeems herself or not. Yeah, that's kind of disappointing, because I wanted to be able to decide where I stood with her. Now I can't really, even though I think that they could theoretically bring her back, but like with Shirin, it would be like the last season of the show, right? And does anyone know if she actually got a, last words confessional? Because the place that I viewed this episode on, it didn't have her, although they had it with Tony, and that was weird. So then, Orange Tribe comes back, and gradually, it gets formatted to Tony and Sandra are causing a lot of issues, even though it did seem like originally that, Tony was forming an alliance with Sandra and Malcolm, which I actually thought wasn't that bad of an idea to do, because you know, Malcolm, he's a very interesting guy to interact with. He can play all kinds of angles, and then Tony. Well, even though he does have the spontaneous nature, he's able to do it in a way that makes it work in quite a number of ways, even though it takes you a while to get faith in him. Although, of course, there's tons of people out there who don't have any faith in him at all, whatever. But, yeah, then Sandra, she's got the interesting idea of being the two-time winner and then having to do the game differently because she goes, I'm going to play the same game when, as I think I've alluded to, she can't really, yeah. Wait a minute. Wait, did I say that Kayla was on the Blue Tribe? And I think I got that mixed up. Okay, so if I've gotten anyone mixed up in these tribes, sorry, okay? I apologize for that. Okay. Right. Yeah. So we get that little bit of interaction, although the Blue Tribe did seem to be mentioning Suri a lot more, and it's going to be real interesting to see what happens to her once she goes to Tribal, because she's going to have to dig herself, get herself out of a big hole, like with Tony, yeah. Although Ozzy, ironically, I don't think he needs to worry that much, because Ozzy's going to get deep into this game, people, okay? Like, if he gets booted out for the merge, that is going to be the biggest shock I've seen in a while, unless, you know, we get the, hype that Aris had going for him in Blood of Water before he gets booted, yeah. But I really think he's going to get deep into the merge, let me tell you, really. I can't see him going anywhere, yeah. Suri, though, she's got that tough problems, right? So again, the episode made it seem like the, Orange Tribe would lose, and it seemed like that way for quite a lot of the challenge, but then they were able to get to the point where they start doing the ring toss, and then Malcolm starts doing his bit. And I remember that in Carabo, he was doing a good amount of the tossing bits for the favorites, and that ironically Reynolds was outclassing him. So I was like, but I got the vibe that suddenly Malcolm was the Reynolds of the situation. Where I'm like, oh, Malcolm's pretty good at this. Yeah, might have some trouble, and he actually made up the entire lead. And I completely forgot about the general principle of the show, where people, you know, do pretty well on the physical bit, and then they establish a good lead on the puzzle or whatever stage. But then the tribe that was behind is able to catch up and then get as into about the same area that the other tribe was at before, but then the tribe that was ahead of all line is able to finish it. Well, I forgot that trend, even though it doesn't always hold true. But yeah, so when Blue Tribe won, I was like, whew, that was intense, and I thought it would be a blowout. So nice. Yeah, and that was a clever challenge idea, let me tell you. That was good, yeah. Although it was odd that Ivano wasn't doing too much to help his tribe out. Yeah, and he's one of the people that I, you know, got the question mark in my mind because, you know, he seems satisfied. So how are they able to talk him back into going? Along with, I think, Andrea. I really want to know. Maybe I found out eventually, yeah. So then, gradually the interactions have it that, it seems kind of obvious from my perspective that Tony or Sandra is going to be going due to them having a falling out, but it seemed actually a tribal that somehow it had shifted to either Tony or Aubrey, and like, what did I miss about that? Because I, you know, didn't really get the vibe that Aubrey was at risk at all, because as I said, she didn't get a single confessional. So if you don't get a single confessional, you know, that generally means that nothing's happening to you. I mean, like, I really can't think of anyone who hasn't gotten the confessional in the episode that they've been booted or gotten this close to being booted at. Alright. Yeah. But then in the end, despite my thinking being that Tony, you know, had actually managed to sway a good amount of people and, you know, try to pressure people to booting Sandra, he ends up going, which I thought was a bit of a bummer, but I predicted that this probably would happen to him. I mean, like with Suri, he had that huge target on his back and wasn't able to dig himself out of it. And even though he was doing about the same amount of strategy and behavior that he was doing last time, because, as I said earlier, Tony is kind of like Tom from Palau in that In the original season, they have tons of things working out for them, and despite the fact that people know what threats that they possess, they're like, other people have closer to us right now, we're going to deal with these people later, even though Tony actually got votes twice and could have gone, I think, 2 other times, maybe? I don't know. Right. But when they come back, things don't work out for them really at all, and they end up getting booted. Yeah. I think that we're going to have that for a fair amount of people coming up now. Right, even though you can get far in a season where it doesn't seem like stuff is working out for you, or seemingly nothing works out for you, because like Colby and Pav in HVV, tons of things didn't work out for them, even though you could argue that a lot did work out with Pav. I still got the idea that, she could never let up that entire game. Even though she only got votes at 3 tribal councils, she was at risk of going pretty much every time, in my opinion. That's a memory. Yeah. So, it's not exactly an easy thing, yeah. Oh, and I completely forgot to mention the twist of going straight to rocks after the one round bit. Well, a lot of people have been saying that this kills the split vote. No. This only kills the split vote if you don't prioritize your target. This kills the split vote if it's free like it was in HVV. If you've got the situation where it's 7-2 like within Cambodia, then if you prioritize the target, you would... No, sorry, not the 7-2, where it was the 9 members of the Bayon Alliance against the 3 witches. There, if they had prioritized the target, they would have ended up being just fine. And one thing that I really want to know is, if the person with the majority of the votes plays a hidden immunity idol for themselves, but there ends up being a tie after that, do they go to rocks in that situation? Because that's a tie that wouldn't have happened had the idol not been played. So, yeah. Although, I think if it was like a free tie, one of the 3 played an idol, then they would go right to rocks, so... I guess not. Okay. Well, sorry that this first video was a bit of a mess, but, hey, I'm doing it. See ya.